Yes, people, bless up this evening. How's everyone going? How's everyone doing, shall I say? Welcome, welcome to another live stream. I'm your host. Why it matters a win for short, whichever's easy for you, I don't mind. It is now 10:15 GMT time. So I wasn't gonna delay too long tonight. I was planning on doing the stream earlier today, but you know how it is. The football was on, and yeah, bro. Where's Manchester boy? Where's Manchester? Where's that guy at, bro? 6-0, 6-0. I might have to ban these Manchester boys tonight. I might have to block them or do something. But yeah, let me know how you are. Let me know how the sound is coming through. Appreciate everyone for coming in, stepping through. Hope you all are doing well this evening. Aaron B, what's up, man? What's up, bro? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing good this evening. Falcon, as always, blessings, bro. So please make sure you like the stream, share the stream, subscribe if you are new, you know, all that good stuff. Again, appreciate you for coming through. I'm not gonna do too much intro today. I want to get straight into it. Again, it's late over here, so I don't really want to be going for 3-4 hours on this bad boy. I really want to get this going, and then I'll see if anyone wants to come up or not. But if not, it's all good. You can listen to my voice instead. But yeah, man, I've been a part of some good live streams. Falcon, obviously, got to give you credit, man. Loving your channel's direction and how it's really growing with what you're doing. So loving it, man. Keep it up, bro. And a lot of conversations have been going on as of late, rightfully so, in regards to the carnage, the aftermath of the carnival, and just in general how things are progressing or things are looking. And a lot of it's coming down to image in regards to, obviously, it's negative imagery and negative things that are taking place. And one of the things which I was spotted on, going through Twitter, and it's actually on the thumbnail. If you've been able to read it, it's by ZZ Mills. I'm pretty sure you know who that is. And she pointed out something which, truth be told, is actually a very poignant tweet, and it's what I want to get into today about staying on code. So let me just read exactly what she put on here, just so that we're all on one accord. We all know what's going on here. Again, if you couldn't read it because it was kind of not as clear, but she says this. Sometimes as Black people, I really don't think we know how to keep certain things in-house. Now, this is regards to the carnival in particular. And she goes on to say, you think if I see a bunch of Black boys fighting at carnival or anywhere, actually I'm posting that on socials for the video to go viral, and now I have a bunch of QT, so quote tweets saying, see, this is why. And my immediate thoughts to that is this. Do you know what? She actually has a very good point. And I'm going to extrapolate it to so much other things, because the thumbnail has a few different characters on there, which I'm just going to give my opinion on this. Because for me, this is where I'm going to say this. Only in the UK do we allow this to take place. And I'm going to explain why. Now, firstly, to the actual ZZ Mills post about keeping things in the house. Now, actually, I do agree with about keeping things in the house. We need to have a code as people in which we will say to ourselves, do you know what? Not everything has to be posted. Not everything has to be on social media. Not everything has to be a way for other groups to then be able to weaponize our own dysfunction. Now, my only problem with that, and this is really where it's not a pushback, but just a bone of contention with our people, is that only works under the following sort of scenario or environment. If we as a people can actually control and make sure that these things don't happen again. This is my problem. My problem a lot of times is what happens when we talk about staying on code is we don't actually want to call out bad behavior, or at least sort out bad behavior ourselves. You see, other groups, they have bad behavior. We know this. But you know what other groups are better at doing? Mobilizing and making sure they can at least eradicate. You don't see as much BSery for certain types of activity, in my opinion, when it comes to their communities. I mean, there's certain things you just don't even know what goes on because they keep things in house, and also they sort it out. Do you really think certain groups, if they saw certain things, they would actually be like, yeah, we're gonna not only just leave it lie, but just let it fester? That's my only problem with that. It's not that I don't disagree with it. I actually do agree with it. But you know what the problem is? When it comes to talk about staying on code, and we shouldn't be posting this and posting that. Again, I actually agree with that wholeheartedly. I think we should have a way of being smart enough. And I suppose this goes back to JLC's point about IQ. Oh man, where that brother at? But it does go to the point of, are we smart enough and sensitive enough to understand maybe there's certain things that we need to keep within ourselves and not let everyone else come into a profit office and most certainly be weaponized? Because this is what takes place over the last few days where, again, I posted some videos about the carnival, the aftermath, the violence, the lewdness, the degradation. And of course, listen, overall, you would argue it's been a very, very positive event. But again, it's like a loss of life for me is just a loss of life. It's there's certain things you can't get back from. And the question is, what do we as a people? Should we stay on code? What is your thoughts on that, people? I mean, I see some more people in chat. So let me just say big ups to everyone in the chat. KB, what's up? Appreciate you stopping by. Again, please make sure you like the stream, share the stream, subscribe if you are new. Mr. Pelu, what's up? How you doing, bro? Hope you're doing well. Thomas, I see you in the building. So hope you're doing well. But my question then to everyone else is, should we stay on code for negative things more often than for the positive things? Because truth be told, we do have a more of a tightrope when it comes to certain things that we do or the negative things that we do. Again, talked about Anthony Joshua and how, let's be honest, he has pretty much a squeaky clean image. Let's be honest. He has a pretty much a squeaky clean image. And then as soon as he has a negative moment, which in the scheme of things, it wasn't all that bad. Sure, it was out of character. Sure, it was bad taste. Sure, it was bad form. Sure, I agree. It's something which he could have handled it a lot better. But I'm like this. Is that something where we need to say, you know what, cool, we'll allow that. We'll stay on code. We'll protect this brother. Because my question then becomes, if we don't stay on code, how is it that all we become, or do we now not have a community which is worth protecting? Are we guilty of not protecting our own? Because this is the next thing that happens when it comes to, let's talk about the educated brothers for a second. Because a lot of time I hear this a lot from my educated and brothers and sisters. Let me rephrase that. A lot of them will say they don't feel as protected in the community because of some of the codes that we adhere to, some of the codes we don't adhere to. And I'm like this, is this part of the problem? Is it a case of sometimes we don't have a sound code, or the code that we do operate on, it's just not it it favors towards negativity as towards positivity? Because at the end of the day, now let's be honest, ZZ Mills only posted that about the negativity. You know what I mean? It's like, and this is where again I agree with the sentiment. I agree wholeheartedly that we should keep things in house. We shouldn't be posting everything. We shouldn't be having these open conversations. There's certain things, in my humble opinion, that we as a people need to get better at controlling our own. I mean, we talk about our communities, and let's be honest, I'm going to get into this next bit because this is what's, let's say, troubling. This is what I'm just seeing right now in the space. But we have a real bad habit of controlling what we hold dear to ourselves. We talk about, um, you know, Dunn's River, the season, and how it's not controlled by us as people. I talk about how a lot of our food stores, like Turtle Bay, not owned by us. Talk about our communities. We talk about South Asians owning our hair store with, and the do rags and our products that we have for our hair, skin, face. A lot of things in our should be in our control. A lot of things that we hold near and dear aren't even controlled, aren't even manufactured, and sometimes aren't even distributed by our own people. And this is exact replica of what I'm seeing just even when we talk about these online spaces. And even when we talk about everything else, our conversations, because again, we start these conversations and then sure, lo and behold, somebody else comes in and sweeps and takes over the conversation and they get more notoriety than we do. And this is when we're going to get to the next part of the conversation, because we all know about Murad Morelli. The I think it's either Indian or Pakistani cent. You have to excuse me. I don't really follow his content, but I knew who he was before the whole issue took place. But you don't have just someone like Murad Morelli. You had someone like Ruba Zaman. I'm also going to reference just Purdy things. So KB, I know for a fact that you been on her show. Okay, big up. But my question is this: talk about staying on code and being in house, because I find it just, and this is where I'm just getting a bit, I don't know what it is. Again, I'm going to drop the link in the chat soon because I don't want it to be an all night thing, because again, it's quite late. But I find it quite just a sad indictment of us that we have, because let's be honest, those groups really specifically have come up off of black conversations and black people. You look at the chicken shop lady, Amelia. You look at Just Purdy Things. You look at Rubles and Man. You look at Murad Morelli. Now, these are on both sides of the equation for whatever whatever niche that they've gone into. But don't you just think, don't you just find it, aren't you questioning? I mean, what is it with us? This is like only in the UK, bro. I'm telling you, only in the UK, where I can see conversations, where I can see topics that, let's be honest, are black specific. And not only do other outsiders have a complete stake, or they like, have a stake in that conversation, but they seem to be the ones who are leading the charge. I mean, I don't know what it is, but do we like that kind of stuff? Do we love it? Do we like it when our own things aren't kept in our own hands? I mean, I know this is, YouTube, and don't have a conversation. I know this is just, it's just, if someone finds a niche and people glean to it, it is what it is. So I get the whole premise. But has anyone not like peeled back the layers and looked at this from afar and thought, raw, ZZ Mills even said something about the chicken shop lady, which again, people came at her neck for it. But sometimes she does talk a lot. She does chat a lot. But sometimes she does have some really, really good takes. And she was mentioning about, if that was a black woman, could she have done the same thing that Amelia had done? And I'm thinking, no, she couldn't. I don't think she could have. And then I'm just like, even in the red pill space, KB, I would love to get your opinion on this. Had Just Pearly Things had been a black guy, do you think she would have had the kind of rise that she would have had? Now, there's a conversation about it just being a woman, and women right now seem to be controlling the conversations about male-centric issues, but it's all about female nature and all that kind of other stuff. But let me ask you a question: do you think that could have happened if that was a black man? Because let's be honest, again, KB, you're a content creator, you do that kind of content. I think King Richard was on that show; he does all that kind of content, and I'm just like this: how is it possible? Again, this is no knock at them. I'm just having a conversation about, we talk about being on code, we talk about keeping things in-house. And one of the problems I have is this. Okay, we don't keep things in-house as a conversation. We like to talk our business out in the open. All right, fine. We talk it out in the open. But how in God's earth have we allowed the situation where we have really, really key pillars or really key conversations when it talks about black and men and women dynamics, especially in the black scene when it comes to interracial dating, or just talking about black men or black women? How is it possible? Or even when it comes to our urban music, when it comes to all that kind of other things that we, let's be honest, are more involved in. How is it possible that some of the key players in that don't even look like us? Can someone explain that to me? And yet, when still we seem to be the, what's the word, the bar stool, the financial support system. And I'm thinking, we talk about being on code, we talk about keeping things in house, but I'm like, what does that even mean to us? Do we even care about that kind of stuff? I mean, Thomas, you talk about what is UK black culture. I mean, we can have a conversation about that, but I'm just like this. Right now, is that even relevant? We kind of know what things that we are into as a whole. We could talk about, is it as quite defined, whether it's the same type of way as other cultures. But truth be told, bro, this situation we know which is more black centric as opposed to non-black centric. And I'm just like, we always seem to have a situation where and the thing is, I think we love this the most over here. Because I'm trying to think of an example over it across the pond where they would have certain situations, certain topics in which you would have, I'm going to say it, not white women or non-black people being a centerfold for the conversation, which they are pushing, they are running, they are the ones leading, they're the ones at the head of the charge. I'm trying to think of an example over there. Of course, they always talk about their complaints over there, and we seem to transport it over here. But I'm trying to think of an example, and help me out here, people, in which even their issues that they would let some of the situations that I've seen going over here happen over there. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. So we talk about, should we have our own media? Should we have our own this? I'm like, the only way our media would ever work, I'm going to be honest with you, is if a non-black person is heading the charge. Look at Tim Westwood. Tim Westwood for all these years was heading the charge when it comes to the urban culture. So a lot of the grime artists that came all out for the day. People obviously back in if you're old enough, around in the 2000s, Tim Westwood, he was that guy, the front runner. Again, Tim Westwood, he's not black, but he was manning the charge. And we've known that Tim Westwood recently has had all these incidents that took place in which who is he actually abused or accused of being abusing? Black women. Again, only in black people culture. How did we allow that to take place? Because you could argue we're more comfortable allowing other groups of people to lead our movement for us and champion our causes for us. And then it's like, This is why sometimes some of the complaints that we have, bro, I'm thinking to myself, you know what? We could talk about this, we can talk about that, but even on a small scale, bro, even on a little scale, I just see it, and I'm just like, we're so quick as well, and we're so quick to just give away all that everything that we have, everything we built for. We're so quick to give our support to other people. I'm like, we don't. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I did a stat on this about most of our money goes out to the community, and it's not me just when it comes to just that viewership, time. We build up other people, and again, this is no knock. This is no shade at other groups of people. This is it's a business move. I can't knock them, but when I see the rise of these people in particular, and when I see how they've come about, and how I've seen them just seem to unopposed. And I'm not saying you have to shout them down and all, but it's like there's no question marks, no question marks. It's just unopposed. And some of the conversations, I'm sorry, some of the conversations I see them have a talk about, I see black men. I have to talk to you for a second. I see black men on there. I'm thinking to myself, bro, where's the conversation? We should just put them to the side. So look, that's a conversation that should be held in group, in house, on code. Because the moment you open up the conversation and have other groups of people in your midst about this conversation, do you know what takes place? The takeover takes place. The takeover takes place. And I'm thinking, do we over here in the UK? I'm going to say this: black folk, we have a really bad. I'm not going to say what I'm going to say now. Let me rephrase it, or let me clean this up, because I'm going to offend some people. We really don't have a bad way. We really don't know anything about optics. We really don't. So do you know, when I hear Tariq Nasheed talk about us being tethers and us being coons, there's some things I actually agree with him on. I'm sorry. There's some things I agree with him on. We do not know anything about optics. We really don't. We really don't know optics. And we really don't know about how things look. And we really don't know how things play through. And even when it comes to, again, the chicken shop lady, when it came to, who was that comedian? It was Andrew Schultz. And he just made the observation, which, truth be told, we said, oh, it's not that deep. But he just made the observation. Isn't it hilarious how you have a white woman taking a black guy to a chicken shop? I'm just like, even he was just like, is there not a question mark on here? Now, granted, it ain't that deep. It's just an interview in a chicken shop. And she interviews other non-black guests. She interviews a few other guests. But you know, when you sometimes deep it, I'm like, do we even understand optics? Are we that confused as an identity of people? Because in the chat I'm hearing, you know, black community this, we don't got a black community that. But you know what that points to me? That points to the fact that we're so confused. We are so confused as a people that we let this thing slide like no other business. Other groups, I'm sorry, they don't let that slide. There was a article I read about Nigeria. They're trying to, Nigerians aren't allowing, going forward, any non-Nigerians to have a voiceover in their adverts or some other stuff. They're making sure that, listen, if you're not Nigerian, you cannot be in this space when it comes to their adverts, their TV adverts, their voiceovers. They're making it sure. They're making it sure. Guess what? This is for our people. Now, I'm not saying we don't have the power to do that. Granted, you know, we don't have the power, but it's all points to the fact that we're a directionless community, or so-called community. We're identityless. We have an identity issue. We have an issue when it comes to even our own people controlling our things. So much to the point now where if it's not outside of some BS negativity that we try and stay on code for, I'm like, the things we should have our conversations that should be locked, stock, and barrel. Even those things we've not even let ourselves have control over. We've let other people come through sweeping, unopposed, in an area which should be dominated by us. At least the areas that we frequent in, we should be dominating. At least give us that credit. But even then, even still, it never would be the case. That's why I'm just like, bro, when I look at some of these things that are taking place, I have to just at least make mention of it. We talk about, I'm talking about staying on code. We talk about how we can, you know, our image and all this kind of other stuff. But truth be told, how can we stay on code when we're pretty much talking, sleeping, bathing with the so-called enemy again? That's how it seems optics wise. That's how it seems. Now, I've dropped the link in the chat because I do want your opinion. Again, I don't want it to I don't want to be here too long. I appreciate the time. I appreciate everyone goes to work. It's midweek. So I don't want to be going on for too long because I understand, you know, we all have lives. But you know, when you just look at the optics, brothers and sisters, do you know when we look at things from afar? Am I deep in it? Am I too deep in it? Or is it something that we need to talk about? DLC, KB, welcome, bro. Welcome, bros. How's it going?
It's good, man. Busted out 10K run today. Got to work the
Nice.
heart, man. Heart. We got heart disease. We're West African descent or West African direct. Heart disease is in our near future if we're not careful. Let's be real.
No. Honestly, health is a very, very important topic, which often gets overlooked in the community. So yeah, fully on board with that, bro. Fully on board with that. So tell me for your thoughts about staying on code and keeping things in house. What your views on that?
I mean, I agree totally, but what good is it to try and keep things in house, the unflattering aspects of people that look like us, when you get a carnival where people behave like savages with no sense, twerking on top of buses, making meme-worthy Twitter for the Daily Mail supply for 3 days worth of news, and then the comment section of the Twitter page, monkey, ape, low IQ, savages, bushmen, all these type of comments. YouTube, the same story. And it comes to the point that doesn't matter what you do to keep things in house, you've just destroyed the image for a good couple of weeks at minimum, and it's going to circulate till the next year. There's going to be another carnival. They're going to bring up this crap. And then we combine that with the savagery that took place earlier this month, as we all know, with the man being stabbed in the chest. That was done by us. Anthony Joshua having a menstrual cycle. That was done by us. You know, our image is trash, man.
No, I hear that. And one of the things I was gonna let me ask you on this one is, how should we respond to that kind of thing? So in the public spaces, should we respond one way, but in the private space, should we respond another way? That'll be my next question to you, and then I'll pass the mic to KB. So just to clarify, so in response to obviously the Twitter mob and that kind of other stuff, yes, obviously it's out in the open now, but should we have a response to them there and then have a different response internally? Do you think we should do something like that?
I'll be honest, judging by what's been going on so far, I see that we don't really condemn enough. And
Right.
it seems to be just being propagated until it takes a black person to be real in a public space and actually criticize and disown and separate people who embarrass us and excommunicate them from the group. There's no point, because it says to a group of people, the people within and outside, this is a group of people that don't enforce standards. And the people who work in that group will say, okay, there's clearly no standards. I could do whatever I want and not get punished in any way other than by the police if I cross the line, right? So therefore, there's no standards. So what's the point of having standards if you can't enforce them? What's the point of keeping people who are portraying your group badly, or like a company? Let's say you have an employee. Your employee does something terrible, awful, that puts the company in disrepute. Yeah, and then you say, yeah, that's great, that's fine, that's absolutely okay. Yeah. He's a pedophile or something. And say, yeah, you can continue to work for us. That's fine. That's great.
Wow.
Yeah.
I
A
hear what you're saying,
sponsorship
bro.
or sponsorship. We could say skin colors like a sponsorship. You're wearing the jersey, the African jersey. No, I'm being serious. I'm using some abstract thinking here.
Well, I'm just going to pass the mic to KB. I'm just going to make this comment and say this. I don't know if you like football and all, but Ryan Giggs, the issues that he experiences now, he was a serial cheater doing all these things during his playing career, but because he had that Manchester United shirt on, I'm telling you, there was pretty much not a peep that got out to the press until after he's retired and all this kind of other stuff is gone on. So maybe that skin color jersey is not a bad idea, to be fair to you, but I see what you're saying, bro. I see what you're saying. I'll come back to that in a second. KB, welcome. Good evening. How you doing?
Good evening, bro. How are you?
Yeah, doing good, man. Doing good.
Good. Is my mic all right?
Yeah, perfect. So the first question is, what do you think about staying on code and keeping things in house? Good idea, bad idea?
Oh boy. Okay. Right. You see this code thing, yeah. And yeah, those that you know me, bro, and those that know me. And hi JLC, hi Thomas. Yeah, bro. Like it sounds good in theory, and I've been someone who's been a big co-signer for it. But to be honest, bro, I almost feel like either there is no code or it's just not gonna work, bro. Because, bro, when is this code gonna kick in? Like, bro, I'll soon turn 40. When it gonna kick in, bro? Because we're just not on it. Like, for example, yeah, like I mentioned in the chat, and you mentioned in the chat, I was on Pearly's show recently, yeah. She was doing some live stream thing, and I was me and a few people coming on the later bit. Now, to be honest, the bit I was on was more of like a red pill thing, and that's not. It is my thing, but it's not. I said my little bit and kind of went. What I am happy about in terms of, and I was actually consciously thinking this anyway. We didn't really go down the race route, not the show I was on, which is good actually, because I do actually agree. Now, I don't know if someone like myself being on the show, just in terms of representation, looks bad. And if it does, then I play my bit, I guess. And I'm going to come into that in a second. But in terms of me personally, and you saw Why It Matters anyway, and a few people have told me they saw me on there. Yeah, like I kept it to that. Now, what I will say in terms of with this code, because one part of the code that people seem to really ignore, right? What are you saying, Skittles, man? You good, brother? You good? One part of the code is co-signing for each other. Now, for example, you mentioned like Amelia the chicken shop girl, or let's say Pearly, or you mentioned Tim Westwood or something like that. It's getting to the point where I'm starting to think that we almost have to have an outsider co-sign our thing, not even for the mainstream to push it forward and believe in it, almost for us too as well, because we've seen countless times our own people try to do the same things these people do, and even if they get a certain amount of support or a lot of support, it's nowhere near as these other non-black people, especially when they're white. And you take someone like an Amelia, for example, and this will go for black and white people, right? Someone like an Amelia, she's not going to get no pushback. Why? Because they're going to be like, oh, it's a cute blonde white girl who flirts with rappers and tries to be cool. They think she's cute. They don't consider her an invader. Do you know what I mean? And they would much rather watch an Amelia than a Simone. Do you know what I mean? Unless Simone's pretty. And even then, it depends on the rhetoric. But Amelia can be ditzy blonde girl. I want to bang all the rappers that, black people like chicken, right? Oh, let me interview in a chicken shop, etc. You know what I mean?
The thing is, the optics on that alone, I know we don't deep it like that over here, but the optics alone, it's like, bro.
Brother, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. So it's I almost feel like that part of the code as well. Like we don't code. Look, even if we got on code with everything else we're saying, which I believe we should, I don't think it's gonna happen because I think we lack the thought of it. But getting into action, I don't think we don't coast. We don't sponsor each other. We don't, bruv. It's almost like we will speak to and just verbally, come together for feel like we're being attacked as a group or being described as a monolith sometimes. Right. But when it comes to each other, when it comes to the main bit, because the main part of growing a race, a community, whatever, how you want to put it, isn't just defending from the outside, it's building from within. We don't build from within. We don't co-sign nothing. We don't anything. Do you know what I mean? Even, for example, our sort of community, YouTube community here, there's certain people that, I'm not even going to mention names, but behind the scenes, I've gotten to beef with people because they consider as you lot screwed. I mean, what do you mean you lot, blood? Do you know what I mean? So, there's always going to be this division. We've got this innate trait, which I think is still our biggest one, jealousy. We look, in order for there to be at least one of us to go to the top of the mountain and wave the flag for all of us, we have to not only let that person get to the top of the mountain, we also have to help them get there. We have to be the arms and legs, the ladder, so they can climb up. But the problem is they get 3/4 of the way up. We're like, my man thinks he's too big. This person thinks they're so-and-so. And then we pull them down. Even if they don't display arrogant or narcissistic traits, if we feel like there's this whole thing of a black person getting away. What's that phrase? Getting out of the hood, getting out of the ends. We've created such a, I don't want to say toxic, but such an environment that people take it as getting away from quote unquote Blackistan as making it. So there's an innate problem here. You know what I mean? There's a that's my initial thoughts on it anyway. That's my initial opening.
No, I hear you, bro. And there's some things that I want to come back to. But let me go to Thomas now. Thomas, welcome. Good evening, bro. How you doing?
Good. Good evening, bro. How are you?
Yeah, hope you're feeling better. I think yesterday you said you weren't feeling too good, so yeah.
Oh yeah, no. That Lemsip Max kicked in, and now I'm recovered.
Awesome. So, continuing with the same question then. So, what do you think about staying on code and keeping things in house? Is that a good thing? Should we be trying to do that? Is that something we shouldn't do? What are your thoughts?
I honestly think there is no code because I said this before and I'll say it again. I'm gonna say something controversial. Some black people liberal black people have a
Merch.
love affair with evil, and that's the truth, bro. So, bro, you say much.
Yeah, I said merch. I said merch.
It's whenever you say, I'm about to say something controversial. But let me ask you, Tom, because this, some of the things, I don't know if you will call this good or bad, I don't know, but conversations that we have, for example, I use a chicken shop immediate. It's just an interview, let's be honest. Now you could argue the people who go on there, they're not representing, maybe the music we like to listen to, or it represents good music for the community. I'll definitely agree with you there. But things like that, how do you see those type of things where you have the Tim Westwoods of the world, Amelia, you have all these people who, come in, and I say come in, but they're the flagships for a lot of the things that we are known for.
Yeah, I kind of there's no dignity. Like I see, how you gonna allow a non-black person represent you, like talk about black-centric issues? I just find that as like, no, man, you have no dignity. Like a black person should be the forefront talking about these issues because it is related to black people only. But because there's a white person, so there is a sense of favoritism, bro. I've realized that on YouTube, when it comes to important issues that are exclusive to black people, there's a sense of favoritism and racism. It's there, bro. Every time I look at Just Pearly Things or D'Amelio or Chicken Shop, I'm like, YouTube, you're showing favoritism and racism. And it is very clear because you put a black person there doing that, dog, they won't get as much recognition as those non-black people, because that black person will be facing two enemies: YouTube and other black people. It's just such a shame, bro, because I'm gonna say this: there's real self-hate amongst black people, bro. True self-hate. Am I wrong? Am I wrong, bro?
There are some things I wanted to ask this question about this open panel. There are some things which do lend to at least identity issues. Self-hate, maybe a little bit, but I do agree with there is some self-hate with certain things for sure.
Like for example, like I'm just saying, like if a clean-cut, educated, conservative brother who means well, who talks about important issues, yeah, he won't get any recognition, bro. And he's doing everything by the book. He doesn't promote the negative stereotypes. He's just an ordinary brother who has a STEM degree, or just comes from a productive background. Who came from a good family, who means well. He'll be looked in a certain way as you're not really black. You'll be called a coon, Oreo, Uncle Tom, Mortiza, and it's just like, this guy, he should be at the forefront. He should be uplifted amongst black people. But no, whenever I see KSI, Deji, or what's the other guy's name? The guy on Trend Central.
Oh, that's what I'll say. Castillo, is that his name?
Yeah, Castillo. Thank you.
Yeah.
Or Castillo.
Castillo, yeah.
Yeah, he gets. Why is he uplifted, bro? Why are people on Backchat London uplifted? That's because black people. I'm going to specify liberal black people. The majority of black people are liberal. They have an affection for destruction. That's the truth, bro. I want someone to challenge me, but that's the truth. They don't like it when other people are labeling them with stereotypes, but they promote the stereotypes. So how you gonna blame people for telling you what you are? And that's a fact, bro.
No, I hear you. I hear you. So, I suppose this is anyone had any response to anything that someone has said on the panel. It's also open. Yeah, pretty much open mic time. So I don't know whether JLC, KB had anything else you wanted to say at all before I just ask a few questions to the panel.
Well, I just want to add one.
Oh yeah, go
thing.
ahead.
Before the brother, sorry, brothers. Let me add one more thing. So when it comes to Notting Hill Carnival, you know my views, bro. I still think it should be banned because I understand that there's human nature, and you saw the Glastonbury Carnival, yet still exhibited a lot of negative, traits. But this is the UK, brother. Yeah, this is not a black person's country; it's a white person's country. So, if black people really cared about their image, they would not attend Notting Hill Carnival, because on a yearly basis, bro, what do we expect? It's the same song and dance, degeneracy and pandemonium. We saw a murder occur. Sorry, a murder occurred during the carnival, bro. We saw violence, sexual assault cases, drugs, and etc. And you know the worst thing about it, bro? Children were exposed. Yeah, children have been attending the Notting Hill Carnival. So this is bigger than all of us now, bro. This is bigger than all of us. So this is affecting the next generation of young people. They are going to be conditioned to think that this is normal. So that's why I think Notting Hill Carnival should be banned, because these are grown adults who should know better, but they chose not to do better, bro, because they lack accountability.
I've seen reports like on Reddit forums, and just I think it was on I forgot the news site, where they was talking about banning or at least changing the location. I think part of the problem is the location, because it's a street festival, isn't it? And because it's obviously regular people just going to rock up, it's free. So there was talk about banning it, but I think it should just be either rethink, maybe put it in a different location, secluded location like in Glastonbury or no other type of events. Made it behind a paywall. You know, black folk, if they pay for it, they're likely to be
They're coming.
certain people. Huh?
If it's £100 pantry, the more whites will turn up and less of us. And that should sort the crime out, to be honest. I'm just,
Yeah, so, there you go.
But
There you go.
I honestly think the police should do their job properly. Like, it's because it's the leadership in the London Metropolitan Police. If the right person was in charge of the Met Police, I guarantee you, bro, there'll be firearms and people will be in check. If there were firearms with the police during the Notting Hill Carnivals, bro, I think we're gonna see some body bags.
That's gonna cause a storm, bro. That's gonna cause a storm.
I've got a quick story, just very briefly. I've got quite a few South Asian. One of them, back in the day, I was dating. I think she was Malaysian, but Tamil ethnicity. Yeah, just fooling around, no relationship, just casual stuff. And she goes, I said, "How's the carnival?" Yeah, and she goes, "Animals." And I said, "What did you just say?" I said, "They behave like animals." And then that's when I began to realize. This is when I stopped fooling around with non-black women, period, to be honest, is that a lot of these women are quite racist, by the way. So then it all came out that her family don't like blacks, her friends don't like blacks, South Asians hate blacks, they see us as subhuman, and then the usual thing, which is, oh, you're different, you're civilized. I said, okay. Yeah. And it all comes out. And then even now, I think one of my colleagues who was Pakistani, who spent time in the United States, female, big breasts, huge, like just be like 5'1", but it's just massive breast. And she goes, when I went there, it was basically just a giant orgy and people doing drugs. I mean, I was excited to see this world-class festival, but basically it was just a giant orgy and debauchery and stank. And you know, like this is why I got frustrated when I hear other live streams and try to defend this stuff. It's an embarrassment on a worldwide scale. It
Exactly.
makes us look like circus clowns and
Exactly.
savages.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Let me add on, bro. You know, like I don't had this conversation with Brother Valken, you know, regarding the non carnival. But I just like when people were just defending it, I'm like, no, you can't defend the non carnival. You can't. You can't justify it saying, oh, it's a part of human nature for people to be chaotic and mad. No, no, because this is exclusively towards black people. Because I understand, you know, other ethnic groups attend non-carnival, but what does the media show, brothers? What does the media show? You know, on Monday when I was having my lunch, because I work remotely as a software engineer, I work remotely and I'm on my lunch break. I'll put on Sky News. What did I see, brothers? I saw a news presenter talking about Northern Carnival, and guess who was behind her? Keisha's
I did a video on that, bro.
twerking,
I did a video on that.
whining, showing their cleavage, and I'm like, this is embarrassing. Do you know what the worst thing about that was, bro? This will forever be on the internet.
I know,
That
and
clip,
that's the thing that kills, isn't it? It's forever,
yeah,
forever recorded. So her kids, their kids, family members, it's just like we got you. So
exactly. You say you
let me
can't.
go to Ephraim Thomas. Sorry, let me just go to Ephraim Thomas,
Uh,
and then we'll have
cool.
to come back because I want to get to the whole piece, not just obviously not Neil Connor, but the whole piece about how we should control our things better. So welcome, bro. How's it going, Ephraim?
I'm fine. Why matters. And hello, panel. Hello, Thomas.
You're a little bit low on the mic, bro. I don't know if you can turn it up a little
Hello.
bit. Here we go. That's better. That's better.
Oh yes, sorry. Hello, panel. Um, yes, about the topic about should we stay on code or those who should, those who are, if anything, um, uninvited, I would say, into our spaces. I think for us as black people, we've made it a thing of where now non-black people are coming in our spaces uninvited, in which now certain conversations, which is usually between us, is now out in the open. And by the fact that we have to be on code, to me now, I think at this day and age of where there is no community as such, I think there is no point now. Because it's not like the presenter who is there is like one of us. That's someone who's different with a different perspective. And with that different perspective, it's about if we can relate to or not. If it's something that we can relate to, then it's fine. But if it's not, then that could be an issue in itself, or that, as you said, can lead to some kind of confusion because everyone else's situation is different.
Yeah, no, I hear you, bro, and I don't want to sound too, pro black, kitty black, but I do have to say this. And is it whose responsibility is it to enforce the code, bro? Because I want to say this. A lot of us on this panel pretty much have this, oh, it's too late. There's no code. It's this, and I would say most of the people on this panel seem to be, smart, well-to-do brothers who want to do the right thing. That's my impression of you guys. I don't know, obviously, you personally, but my impression of you guys, even though I may disagree with some of the things you say, some of the things that you believe in, is just that you guys want to do what's best for your family, immediate, and the family that you want to create, if that's your thing. So my question is, who has let this take place? Who's most responsible for this? Are we as responsible because we have allowed to say, oh, it is what it is, we can't do anything? Who's responsible for the code?
I sort of quickly respond to Tom about the South Asian women. Yeah, just
Right,
briefly
go
say,
ahead.
I never actually tried to date them. It was just a period of time. For whatever reason, there's a period of time in my life where the ones that were wanted to have sex the most in, for whatever reason was them. I don't know
Really?
why.
South Asians aren't known for, okay, unless it was just a black thing. But I don't
It
know.
was covert, and we just want to get what you want and get out. Because I would never walk in public with them. I would never do any of that. I'm not getting acid in my face. Screw that. So Let's sort of clarify this. I knew what the rules were. It was just having fun. Okay, there you go.
But you know what? That goes to my point though, because who are you most scared of? Was it the men of that community you most scared
Oh
of?
man, yeah, the men. I mean, they would chop her clitoris off, bro.
Bro. Now I'm not saying
That's very true. I've heard
now.
horror stories, man.
Yeah, now I do hear some stories. I remember growing up with them, and some of the things they'll say to their women is crazy. Now I'm nowhere near, by the way, advocating anything like that we should do, but it just goes back to my point about the code and how they're more militant about it, in which they're the ones who lead the charge. Oh, are we as men? Have we let the charge go? Have we let this down? Are we the reasons why? I'm not saying us, because we,
I would
But
say
why it matters, we let everybody in, bro. To answer your
Right,
question,
right.
we let everybody in, bro. Like, because even when it was mentioned, sorry, I can't remember who mentioned it, but like black people are just coming into our spaces kind of like unannounced. It's us, bro, because we left the front door open. As a matter of fact, we stood there and said, "Come in, we're making jerk. Come, we're making jerk. I'll plait your hair." That's what we did, because it's not just people either try to encompass or imitate our culture. That's one thing, because people always imitate us. Like that is a thing. But it's also a case of we've had to have let them in, because they don't have this fear of coming into our space. They don't really second guess. I tend to find the only people that really second guess coming into our community, dating, procreating, whatever, marrying to the extreme, but what with us is the people that don't really hang around us. But those that are especially comfortable around us, growing up around us, etc. I think the one sort of unspoken rule that non-black people that are comfortable with us seem to all adhere to is that they can't say the N-word in front of us. I think that's it. I think that's the only one thing I can say.
Even that sometimes we give out these passes. I don't, you know what I mean? That's another thing about
boy,
Unpro.
yeah,
We give out some of these
I
passes.
want to put.
I have to say about those passes. I'm sorry to say this. Black people, when I hear these passes, I ask myself, are we now low? Is our lives low now? Have life become so, I don't know, bad, or it's so, as many will say, bizarre, that we're now going to start doing passes? Like, what we're doing now is, in my opinion, is now fantasy. It's not reality. It's like what our ancestors done for us is become nothing. It's like it's for nothing.
Yep, I agree. You know what? It's the N word that really frustrates me, brothers. You know, the N word has become socially acceptable. I'm going to have to specify. Liberal black people have changed the N word from the original ending from ER to A. They now see the N word as a word of endearment and enlightenment. I just shake my head, man. I'm like, you people are. Wait, bruv, can I swear, please? Bro.
Yeah, go ahead.
Cool. You people are fucking idiots. Yeah. You're fucking idiots to think that this probably the most atrocious word ever created, yeah? A word that your ancestors were labeled, like your ancestors never had a name, so they just labeled that atrocious word. To think you can then change it, the ending of that word, and think it's now a term of endearment, of enlightenment to uplift other black people, you're completely asinine. Now, I see these people as though you're completely asinine. This word, yeah, you know the significance, you know the history, and you choose to make it seem cool, and they give out passes to white people, like to say that atrocious word. I'm like, no, for a white person, if any, even a black person says that, well, I just said, never, don't say that word in front of me. No, do not say that word in front of me, or there'll be problems.
But why do we need to be told these things. For example, you look at a history book, you know that non-blacks treat us terribly. We talk about racism a lot of the time. We see it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like this is what I don't understand, man. And this is why, I've said some things in the past that I still believe it, because these are things that if you get treated poorly by people for the culture is racist. Even with South Africa, before I started dealing with them temporarily, yeah, I knew, okay, this is not very dangerous situation. This culture is very, very racist. They see me and people that look like me as fundamentally inferior, and the men are super territorial. This could be risky. I don't want to do this in public. And you talk to the woman and say, listen, this is how it's going to be. And then, she obviously does, these things. But at the end of the day, I knew what the risks were, and you plan accordingly. Would I recommend doing it again? Absolutely not. Never. No way. Never. All right. But I just try to say is you didn't need to be taught these things. You just know what the risks were and you behave accordingly, right? So
Yeah.
when the Arab guy says to me, "Oh, brother, brother, brother," I'm like, I know you brother crap will stop if any of your women ever show me any romantic interest. You'll call me all types of racial slurs. So like, I know what you're doing. You're trying to build trying to get money from me in some way. So you're just putting on a nice face, but you don't like me. Like, you know what I mean? You really don't like people that like me. But black people, I don't understand. Like, it's so sad that we're like children sometimes, that it only takes is a smile, adapt, and oh, did you see Anthony Joshua fight last night? Our man won, and then suddenly the person you're offering up a cow, a goat, and your firstborn.
Well, should I tell you why, bro? I'll tell you why. Black people still want acceptance, but from everyone.
Thank you.
They still
That
want
is true.
acceptance. They want
No,
that acceptance.
we don't want to be respected. Yeah, I agree with that actually. I don't want to believe it, but I don't think we actually want to be respected. We say we do, we don't. We want to be liked. That's what it is. We want to be liked.
It's
And
all
when
about validation. We want to
Exactly.
be validated by people who themselves have a bias against us. Even
Exactly.
if we're in our vicinity, as they say, action speaks louder than words. Even if you're there, they want you out, but not in a overtly way, but covertly way of throwing unwanted and, if anything, uncomfortable questions. You can see them staring at you. Like, if you're not unwanted, that's how they make you feel.
I want to put this out here. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Ephraim. I don't know if you finished.
Sorry. Sometimes I don't want to think like that, but once you're in an area where you're only a minority and there is a majority, sometimes it's best to keep it safe and go where there is, let's say, a bit more of you than the majority. That's all I have to say.
No, I hear you, bro. And I want to ask this to the panel because there's an expression: "Don't hate the player, hate the game." And for me, when you look at I won't even call it a hustle, but it's part of the problem because we are so divided internally that all it takes is an outsider to easily curry favor that we will likely not only give them their money, but they can be the head of certain movements. For example, let's just take the political space. I don't know if anyone watches things like GB News and how they
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
position themselves. And I've got no issues with black conservatives, but how I see them get used is in a very interesting way, in which a lot of them are used only to shut down black people and their issues when it comes to race. It's like, I don't believe we should have Black History Month. I don't believe that this is racist. I'm like, Calvin Robinson, you only seem to be out when it comes to that issue. I only see you out when it comes to that, to keep the establishment. And all it takes is a little bit of, oh no, we believe, like, oh, just a little pat on the back, pat on the head. And this goes for loads of spaces. Do you think the problem is, I don't even look at them as a problem. Us, again, we talk about the code. We ourselves are so divided. Because we even over here, we talk about there's no black community over here. So I'm like, what do you think other people thinking? Cha-ching.
Money, man. They do it for money. We ain't paying them. We don't have the money to pay them. People got to go where they do money to sell their souls for money. Wow, you know what I mean? Like, what these women that you see, Nana, the woman that cheap weaves that she puts on her head.
Oh Lord, we're going there, are we? Lord.
You know what I mean? There's actually a good-looking Kenyan woman on that GB News. Very attractive Kenyan woman. Man, she is very pretty.
Yeah,
Like,
you talking about the single mom, the one she had.
single mother. She's got a black kid in it. Yeah, she got a
but
black kid. Yeah,
she is fit, man.
she's proper fit, man. Proper fit. But she's rare though. There's not many sisters that look like her in the UK. It's not that common. You see that like facial features. I mean, in East Africa you see it, but you don't really see it here that much.
Well, mostly West African and obviously Caribbean, isn't it?
Bro,
So
Yeah,
someone said she looked like a white girl dipped in chocolate.
she kind of does. Her very good teeth. Yeah, very pretty black girl. But again, very rare. You're gonna see a woman like that in the UK. But anyway, yeah, it's as I said, what did I say about her? Yeah, money. They need to get paid. We ain't paying them, so they're loyal to the pound, man.
But isn't that, again, this is all for me, I'm saying this. There's always a damning indictment on us. So again, I don't even blame other groups for doing what they do. I don't blame Amelia for, it's a great idea to do the chicken chop interview with all these drill artists, these urban artists, and getting her brand up. That's a great idea, isn't it? I look at even like Just Purdy Things Rise. She was on a Kevin Samuels show talking about getting black issues, and then she went, whoop, over in the UK. She managed to get a market where you have known black YouTubers who have the space. Like, I'm gonna say his name, King Richards. He was on that show. You know what I mean? So he, before he was on like, he has the UK on lockdown, he has this. Now guess what? You have a white woman coming here, whoop, swoop, took the crown so easily. So much so that he's had to acquiesce to her and go to her show, and it's like, oh, I see.
But bro, I'm not gonna lie. Whenever I see King Richards, bro, I just shake my head. I don't take him
And this
seriously.
is no slander towards King Richard, bro. So just want to put that out there. But it's just we just have to state how we see it. You know what I mean? There's no slander, there's no criticism, there's no beef. It just is what it just is, isn't it?
It's not. It's just like, look, I don't know the brother, but when I look at him, bro, I just see him as a stereotype. Like legit, him and Castillo, they're stereotypes. The tattoos, the cane rolls, the gold teeth. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't take them seriously, bro. I don't take them seriously. I only take good, educated black men seriously. I just don't I don't follow KSI and them lot, bro. I don't do that, man. But sorry, Chelsea, we're gonna say something.
No, King Richards catch me up, man, because like he can't talk about being a stereotype. Because I'll be real, if I had a daughter and she bought something like King Richards home, I'm saying I never want to see that man in my house again, man. Like, I'm sorry,
Exactly.
It's true.
Yeah, legit. I'll get a shotgun if it ever comes to my house.
I'll get the panga from my South African neighbor, man.
Brutal. What happened to personality? What happened to it's looks skin deep.
But it's true, brother. Like, you look at King Richards, you look at Costello. I'm like, who are you to talk about black issues when you promote the stereotypes? Like, you shouldn't be talking. They should not be talking, brother, at all. The only one I can say who should be talking about black issues, and he's not even British, it's Kevin Samuels. May he rest in peace. But he spoke a lot about black issues. Clean cut brother. I'll give you another brother, and he's British. Sarah Garvey, brother.
I have problems with that, bro, at the moment.
You have problems with him?
Well, because he started off in a way like, all right, cool. But then again, this is one of the reasons why I looked at it and thought, oh man, I had to do the stream because it's like, I don't know.
What's wrong with brother Sarah? What's wrong with him?
I think it's just a case of he comes across, or he needs to come across, I don't know how, as like more pro-black for black community and stuff like that. And I just think the transition with a lot of the things that he's talking about, which for me, I'm just like, I don't know. But that's my issue. That's my problem. That's my issue.
But I like him because he once the live streams called The Black Opinion. When he was I was always there every Sunday when he was talking about black related issues. And I don't like someone like him. He should have like 100K or more subscribers. But I'm a mod on this channel, and I see a lot of haters. Like, I was like, wow, I can't believe how many people.
What they saying?
Calling me a coon, you're a Malteser. When he talks about black women, like especially modern Western women, like modern Western black women, he said, you know, you modern women, you're worthless, man. You're useless. Like you ain't shit. And when it came to his Black Opinion live stream, that's when the trolls came in. They said, "Oh, you hate black women. You hate your mother. You hate your sister. You don't love black women." You know, and he was also bigging up, you know, the passport bros, and he said, "Oh, here you go again, bashing black women." And I had to ban a lot of these trolls because they're just chatting a lot of shit.
No, my problem was there, Thomas, and this is where I had my issue. Is the fact that he kept it in his little his channel, which again, the Black Opinion, you would think it's more for black people. The problem I have again, and this is where we do this to ourselves. He then transported that and went on to like just pearly things, not a black woman, and it's not things. I see black
Yeah.
women on the show. This is my problem. This is why I have issues with as a collective. Same with Murad Morelli when it comes to black women, how they supported him, and I'm just like, are we that divided as a people, especially on the gender lines, in which all it takes is somebody else to say the same thing that we pandered to us, that we will give them everything, and it's just like. There's certain conversations we have our issues, but we should have to keep it like, look, I can't have this conversation on your panel. We can't have this conversation there. It has to be in a way which I'm like, okay, it's controlled on my panel, or you know what I mean? I'm just like, it's just
You know, I went to a meetup thing, you know, the meetup app thing, and it was a black thing, black dinner for Afro Caribbeans, and then suddenly I don't know what she was. She looks like she was a South Asian woman, or not ugly woman, and she comes up to this event, and then she left early because like we kind of like froze her out a little bit, innit? Like, you know what I mean? I know it sounds horrible, but like she kind of felt like she was out of place and stuff, and I didn't even make an effort to talk to her, not because I'm a horrible person, because I'm like, why are you here? If I go to a South Asian or Pakistani event, they'll look at me crazy, bro. And you know what I mean? So just think about the reverse. If any of us went to a South Asian event, without being invited by one of their friends, and just turn up, when it specifically mentions an ethnic group in the name of the group,
right.
but do you think that would go down well?
You
How
know what,
lucky,
bro?
like, no, it wouldn't. It's like, what you doing? It's like, it's not for you in the title.
But you know what, bro? Like when it comes to my South Asian mates, to be honest, bro, I don't take them seriously.
But Thomas, let me ask this question. Yeah,
Yeah.
do any of your South Asian friends talk to you about their specific issues and invite you in their conversations?
Never. No, they don't. I know it.
Have you even heard of their conversation? Do you even know what they generally talk about? That's another thing. Do you even know what they?
I don't. No, I don't want to know. It doesn't. It doesn't. It's not. It's not my reality, bro. I don't want to know about them. We both, myself and my mates, come from two different realities. We come from two different cultures, but at least there's a mutual respect between each other because we know what to say, and it's always respectful. And if I have negative things to say, we keep it to ourselves because there's a mutual respect between each other. I knew them since my first year at the University of Greenwich, bro. So, and I was friends with a lot of South Asians. So, I kept myself in a professional manner. I didn't want to jeopardize any good relationships I had with them. So, but when it came to their own issues, I'm like, no, it's not my issue, bro. No, I just focused on myself and my other black mates.
They do have quite a few problems. They will talk to you one on one if you have a good relationship. They'll tell you stuff that I really didn't know. A lot of loveless marriages, a lot of men cheating with white women, particularly if they're Islamic. They don't really find it's hard for them. A lot of them, the third generation Indians who are educated, they love white people big
They
time.
do love white women. The men, they
Absolutely.
love white
Oh
women.
And the women love
Bro.
white men too, by the way. A lot of the white women, a lot of the Asian women love white men, especially Hindus. They
I've seen
love
that.
them big,
I've
big,
seen that a
big,
lot.
big, big.
But let me tell you this, bro. When I was at university, I'm not gonna lie, bro. There were some Pakistani chicks that I was feeling towards, bro. I was feeling towards them, bro. I remember one chick here, but she was good looking. Everyone knew this chick. Good looking chick. She always wore high heels because she was a bit short, but she was good looking. She wore her hijab and everything. She was on point. But then I saw her friend. Her friend was from Ethiopia, dark skinned chick. And I'm like, why is everyone going for this chick here? But her friend is better looking than her. So I'm like, nah, man. I just left the chick here and I went towards her friend. And me and her friend still talk till this day. But she was surprised that, what? Why are you rejecting me? I'm like, oh, your friend's better looking than you. That's why. Move. So I like some of these South Asian chicks. I'm not gonna lie, bro. They're kind of narcissistic, especially the good-looking ones.
Yeah,
That's what
they did mention that. They said that they have high expectations financially because obviously quite particularly the Indians have money.
They are very successful.
Mm,
Yeah. So we talk about
yeah.
hypergamy for black women. I'm like, listen, nowhere near compared, bro. Black women, if you're with a black man, just know, black man, she's dealing with you because it's not because of finances. I'll leave it like that.
Yeah. But her mate was better looking. No, she was half. I know she was half Ethiopian, and she was half Somali. But she was good looking. You know how these Keishas here, these black women say, "Oh, black man, you're colorist." Blood. I didn't give a fuck about her color, blood. She was gorgeous, gorgeous. If I had to rate her, and I'm simping right now, yeah, but if I had to rate her, man, she would be a good 7 to 8. But I'm like, why is everyone going for this chick here? But her friend is just being left out.
I hear you,
University
bro. I
was
hear you.
weird, man. University was weird back in the day.
let me try and pivot back to the topic a little bit. We've gone off a little bit of a tangent, didn't it? Sorry, Ephraim, you wanted to say something?
Yes. I don't know if you remember Why It Matters, or maybe I do. Remember BBC Sounds?
Yeah, I do know BBC Sound.
Yes. They was about to do I think it was one of those genre, I think one of those genre podcasters about R&B, and they were about to let Cheryl Cole become the host.
Oh yeah,
of
I
that.
remember that. Everyone was crazy. Like, Cheryl Cole, R&B, what the hell?
Everyone was upset. I
Yeah, I remember
myself,
that.
even though I don't listen to much of BBC, and still to this day I don't listen much of BBC, I was a bit weirded out. I'm like, okay, I know that Cheryl Cole don't know one iota of R&B. You could have got any presenter who is about R&B, even a fellow sister who knows much about R&B to present a podcast about R&B. What does Cheryl Cole, who, if anything, she doesn't know one iota of R&B. Why are you having her to be that presenter? Why?
Because she took mixed race peanuts a couple of years ago.
And she's a
Okay,
white woman. That's why.
okay. Apart from that, and plus that relationship was even the bottom of the sea. Why? And this just shows me why it matters that this country, especially in the West, especially in the UK, they don't they want our accolades, but they don't want us to be part of that accolade. They rather
Exactly.
have their own to be part of the accolade. And this is why when that whole thing of fake news and this and that happening a few years ago, I just said to myself, you know what, yeah, F this mainstream thing. You
Mm-hmm.
know what? I'd rather be authentic than to be fake. That's why I give respect to Donald Trump, even though I do disagree on some terms. But the only thing I give respect to Donald Trump is that he is real about what he says, and he's very objective. In which today, of everything that we see of today, is not. So that's why.
Brothers,
Bro,
can we just have a code, like, and just say that we're all going to look to at least build a home in a at least overseas? Like, what's the point of having a code, yeah, in a place which is crumbling anyway? Like, the British
yeah.
economy will never get back to the way it was 20 years ago. This country's in terminal decline. So, brother, what's
So,
the point of having a code from a place? Why?
so brother
Because
JLC,
realistically, though, that only a few people can do that, and this is the thing, into it, where,
That's a shame.
what do you mean?
brother JLC. Hold on, brother Win. Brother JLC. So, do you agree with the passport, bros?
110%. No, I'm being serious. There's no point. But in my opinion, I agree with you, Thomas, totally on the passport bros. You know, I'm in a relationship and she's on board too. She's like, listen, we can't raise children here solely
Mm-hmm.
relying on the UK.
I
It will
have
lead
faith
to
in you.
degeneracy. And we need to make sure she's got her citizenship, I've got my citizenship. And we work hard to try and build so when the time comes, we could bounce or at least have homes overseas that we could go to for summer holidays. So the
I,
children could get at least insulated a little bit,
I,
inoculated.
I actually advocate don't even bring your
I
foreign
have
wife or your children to the
But
UK
let
because
me
it's
just
the
say this
culture.
though. Let me just say this, because this is where we idolize other parts, and what we do is that, because, for example, I will listen to a lot of Pan-Africanist channel who they're built back in African nations, and let me tell you how difficult they've found it. A lot of these people, they've lost a lot of money. A lot of these people, they've realized, okay, cool, there may be some trade-offs that they like, maybe cultural for family, but the things they don't like, and a lot of things which we do kind of neglect that we can do in the UK, even as bad as the UK is going to be, I guarantee it's going to be 10 times better than the nations you're going to go to, economically wise. That,
Well, that's something that we have to find out then, or I have to find out for myself, and
but
and
there are
and, and that.
people, I don't know what channels you watch, but there are people who've already done this for a few years now. This repatriation stuff has been going on for ages, and they can quite clearly tell you, look, if you, they'll give you the real on it. That's all I'll say.
What jobs did they do though? What jobs did they do? Did they come here with significant assets? Did they go in there fully stacked with capital?
Some of them didn't, I'll admit. Some of them thought it could be this kumbaya because they thought their dollar or the pound traveled better than it actually did. But that's because they was eating like
Mm,
a they wasn't eating like a local,
they
they was eating
didn't
like a foreigner.
prepare for the long
exactly.
term
They didn't prepare.
effects.
There
Let me
was no
just say,
preparation.
they didn't prepare for the long term effects of traveling out to a country where the GDP is at its lowest. If anything, some of these countries are of IMF, and also they didn't thought that being that country too, it will be double the price in terms of their upkeep in terms of the upkeep of
Yep.
food, maintenance, especially health. Because let me tell you something, in health wise, the facilities in Africa, especially in the West African part, when you have a serious illness, the chances of you recovering is slim. You're more likely to even pass away from a simple, I wouldn't say simple, but like a an illness which is mostly be treated. You're most likely to sadly pass away. So sometimes when I hear people say, traveling back, repatriating back to Africa, they need to look at it long and hard in terms of the future.
I don't disagree with that, but what I will say is, listen, this goes back to this thing I've said before, is that what the hell is going on with our people, man? Even our home countries. I don't go in on Nigeria, yeah, because I don't want to criticize Nigeria. Ethnically, I'm 30% Igbo. I get it, but at the end of the day, yeah. And I know Nigeria has no doctors and Ghana have no doctors because they all leave and go to United States or the UK. You guys have like what, one doctor every 100,000 people, or something ridiculous like that. That's crazy. Yeah. But come on, man. What is going on with our people everywhere around the globe? There just seems to be failure, man. It's sad.
JLC though, I said the reason why. Think about it. If every person is thinking like you, I'm leaving this nation because of this. What do you think people on African continent doing? They're thinking the same thing. I need to get out of this hellhole and go over there. So we have. This is where I wanted to talk about the code. How, in my humble opinion, now it's the educated, well-to-do men and women. What they've done is that they've left. They have deserted. They have let the ship sank or is sinking because, again, you would argue getting better opportunities. They want to move, but it's like, well, then what's left? Like in case of doctors, they're all leaving. So who's going to be left? The educated people or the people who want to do better for themselves? They've left. What does that leave? What population is
But,
being left? So we
but
wonder
brother
why things
D,
crumble. We're not we not have a base. We don't even have a solid base anywhere. We can't do
But-
that if we don't build it. You see what I mean?
But brother, can you actually blame, these traditional hardworking black people? Do you actually blame them because they've tried. They've absolutely tried to make a difference in the UK, bro. They've tried. There's so much trial and error, so much failure, because other black people, liberal black people, they just don't care, bro. They're too comfortable in degeneracy. They're too comfortable. So, when these good black people, when they see the writing on the wall, they're like, no, I'm gonna put myself forward. I'm gonna put myself first. And I'm like, to hell with it.
But Thomas, I wouldn't say it's only liberal black people. I would say on both ends, I've been too comfortable of not doing enough in terms of community-wise.
But what do you want to get stabbed? Get robbed? I'm not living in no Southeast London. No, I'm sorry. I used to live in there, yeah? And I got the hell out of there, yeah? I'm sorry. I'm not living in a place where if I have a child, I have to run the risk of her getting impregnated. She's light-skinned. She's going to get impregnated, yeah? Or if she's a boy, she's going to get stabbed. Like, what type of law? Who would do that?
You don't have to live in Southeast London. You can move.
That's what I did. I moved.
Yeah, I know, but you're saying like 6,000 miles away. I'm saying you can move 60 miles. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, and then there's another problem. Listen, you want children you want grandchildren that don't look like you. That's the thing that bothers me. I'm sorry if that sounds horrible and racist, but to me, I'd rather take the inconvenience of maybe having to pay a bit more to import a fancy TV if my grandchildren look like me. And that's what I'm trying to say. I'd rather them have mental health being better, which they would be in a private school I'm looking at East Africa because I know East Africa more, obviously, in Swahili, right? And in a big Nairobi, Tanzania, Kigali, these not harsh, but East Africa is doing way better than West Africa, particularly Nigeria. Yeah, way more safe. So I don't fear it that much, right? Because at the end of the day, in the UK, I'm telling you this right now to all you smart brothers, you software engineers, Wim, your high IQ, yeah. I'm telling you, you will lose in this society. It's just a matter of how badly the scoreline will be.
And bro, that's why I'm saving up. I'm preparing. I'm only 20. I'm a young brother. I'm 25 years old, and I've seen the writing on the wall when I was in college, when I was at sixth form, bro. I've seen it. So I've been prepping for years when I finally move and leave this country.
I mean, my thing is this: there's probably two ways of approaching this, because I don't necessarily disagree with your premise, Jersey, especially with that whole point of, because let's look at the IR dating stats. I've seen the line. I've seen grandparents dark, children light. I've seen it. So I get where you're coming from, and also the culture. I understand what you're saying. I think maybe there's a case of there are people who's just going to be here for the long haul. That's what it is. Now, whether they're liberal, conservative, I don't know. I think it's going to be a bit of both. But I just think for me, we need to be able to have, in a nation like the UK, where regardless of its problems, if any place you can make a difference financially, in terms of its accessibility, in terms of its prestige, then if there's anything place you can make a difference, I don't see how you can't make a difference here. Is it going to be great? I don't know. Is it going to be life-changing? I don't know. But listen, Rome wasn't built in the day. The Europeans were in the Dark Ages for how many centuries before the Renaissance period came out? I mean, I don't know, bro. I think we're a group of people who seem to be so easy to say, let's just up and leave. And that for me is where I'm like, when it comes to being on code, we can't be on code. We can't keep things in house if we're up and moving our house. I don't know, bro.
So what do you want us to do? Go to secondary schools, and this is what I'm gonna go to probably, and speak to the black kids and sit them down in the library one afternoon during the tutorial sessions or citizenship, and sit them down and give them an awe-inspiring Barack Obama save the youth type talk, and then they go back home and their mum's not going to have enough money a single mom's not going to have any money to do stuff for them, or they're going to meet the gang dealer after school. Like, what difference could one talk do? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what are you going to do? Public service announcement on Kiss FM. That's not even black anymore anyway, so who cares? But like, what can you do? Like, how would you go back and reach back and drag up the next generation, who, if they get a little bit of success, they're going to run over to white women anyway. Let's be real. So help me understand this, sir. What can we do?
And that's what I'm saying, bro. It is the Western it is the Western liberal culture. Like JLC, bro. No matter how many times you try to put young black boys and girls on the right path, the culture will twist and warp their minds because they come from unstable families. There's no point, bro. There's no point of saving them.
Not to add, I don't know, I don't know. I've just lost kind of what I'm about to say.
I was going to say even in regards to JFC and Thomas, what you're saying, there's a bit of an irony what could happen. I don't know if it would in this scenario. So say you move, you go to East Africa, you set up your family, you have your kids. Now your children be raised as maybe like a Kenyan, for example, not raised like you were a Brit. So your child would have a different experience just naturally off the strength of they're in Kenya, so they have to deal with their problems the Kenyan government will have to have. I know you're going to hopefully have enough money, but let's be honest, I don't know you're going to be retiring a millionaire. I could be wrong. So wouldn't it be interesting when your children have their kids, they're going to think we need to move to the UK, and then the cycle repeats.
Well, that's I'm sorry. I just the trajectory of development. One country, although slowly, is improving, and there's one country that is declining and has done since World War II. So, in terms of the trajectory of the way things are going, it may not reach the UK's maximum by that stage. But in terms of direction, I'd rather be part of a country that's moving positively than a country that's on the decline. And I'd rather raise children in an environment that is more aligned with my own personal belief system than to be in a country where I don't have no control of the kids. Your children are owned by the government. The only people that should be having kids in the UK, to be honest, are Pakistanis and Jews, because they're the only two groups that have the ability to really discipline and regulate their child and enforce them to do what they want. No one else can.
Now, this is the question. Sorry, Tommy. This is the question I want to get into. How can they do it when they are still they're still operating in the same laws, structures, and ethics that we do?
Okay, I'll answer that. So both of them have they own their own homes for a start. Both of them do. They have high home ownership. They're both very entrepreneurial. They own their own businesses for the most part. Number three is they've got an extremely strong religious backing, be that Islam or Judaism, to help them. Number four is they live in places which are heavily dominated by them only. So they pretty much block out entire neighborhoods in the areas that they live in. So those four things mean they could pretty much create a lifestyle and a community that is virtually impenetrable, and it's self-sustaining because they have their own businesses. And they also foster social events through the religion that they all have.
And because I hear my West African brother and sister say that their culture is quite insular. So are you telling me that we can't do it at all then? You're telling me that, I'm not saying necessarily the religious piece, because that's a whole nother topic. But are you telling me that we can't at least aspire to do that, to at least be
we can't own our own homes? Africans actually have a lower rate of home ownership than West Indians. Because they haven't been as long. They earn less, the West Indians per hour as well, believe it or not, despite all the success.
Quite low, don't they?
But these Pakistanis have one of the highest or the highest home ownerships, believe it or not, in the UK, because they own their own houses, and they also have they get paid low hourly wage because a lot of them are entrepreneurs and they have their own businesses, and that's not included in the hourly wage. So if you look at entrepreneurship and business ownership, Pakistanis actually have more than Indians because they own their own businesses a lot of the time, and they have even higher levels of home ownership because they own their own homes, and they have a lot of children as well. So you have an ever-increasing fertile community that's self-sustaining economically and also increasing in number who don't marry out. You know what I mean? So, Jews don't marry out either, right? So West Africans don't have the money, they don't have the home ownership, don't have the stable family structure either, and don't own businesses.
Oh, strong points. And to be fair, I do want to tackle this in another topic, but yeah, sorry. Sorry, someone else wanted to say something. I cut someone off, I think.
Yeah, there's another reason why I don't intend on raising my children in the UK, bro. You know, what is being pushed out there, brother Win? What is being pushed out? This alternative
right now, a lot
lifestyle, man.
Feminism, or feminization of boys and
exactly.
that kind of crap.
All this nonsense, these like Western liberalism, the liberal culture, the alternative lifestyle, emasculating young men, like, how can you raise your children in this Western society, bro? Especially with this alternative lifestyle, bro. That's the one that pisses me off the most. So, they are normalizing nonsense. Like in the schools, bro. Yeah, I have nieces and nephews. Yeah, I'm very concerned for them because they're learning. I want them to learn general education, right? But they've injected the LGBTQ into the education system, and children are learning this shit from primary school. The drag queens are allowed to attend primary schools, bro. So how you get like how you gonna raise your children in the UK, bro, when this shit is happening?
I do hear what you're saying, bro, and
I
pretty
do
much all the
fear
points
that.
you raised, I can't even disagree with you. I think the only thing I'm hearing, and this is kind of going back to this on code and keeping things in house, and just how do we, at least the small and maybe ineffective or non-control community we do have, it's like, have the people who should have the good brothers and sisters, have the people who should be the ones controlling the culture, have we just said, F it, I'm not going to be here for the long term anyway. And now what we see now is we have, I don't know if you want to call it culture vultures coming in, people profiteering off the people who are the ones talking shouldn't be talking. They're the people who screwing up the code. The code is twist up, bend up, backwards. We like to promote all this, as you call it, Thomas, liberal degeneracy, chaos, something else. I think you said. Have we now basically said the educated people have said screw the code, there is no code, and have just left it to
Yeah,
again.
pretty much. Yeah. I mean, to be honest, we have I've said before, our group on average, we don't want to go into the reasons why. I don't know why, but I do think if you got the average black person in the UK and gave them an intelligence test, they're going to score lower than the lower Asian, white, or Chinese guaranteed. That's the situation, I believe. Okay, and as a result of that, it means on average we have a higher number percentage-wise of people who are easily manipulated, duped, suckered, and played. So it makes no surprise to me that a non-black is able to go and corral this group of low-functioning, intellectually not so great group of people and exploit them. Okay, and that's the harsh reality, and it's sad, and I don't like it. But due to the environments that we have been raised, a lot of us, I don't think we've really trained our minds that well. Okay, and because we have a low weight of intellectually capable blacks in the UK, right? A lot of us, they just separate, or they go and breed with other groups who, the other groups go, wow, we've got ourselves a bargain basement black man.
Bargain basement black man. I love
No,
that.
as in, yeah, that's true. They go, oh wow, this one
Bargain
is attractive. He's educated. He's
Damn.
maybe a bit hood because of his background, hardworking, self-made. Because we're black, obviously, we don't have anything given to us. And they say, oh, maybe I'll take this one, and he could be assimilated into my culture because he's probably deculturalized anyway. We'll take him. Screw the rest.
My matters.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
All I have to say, I leave it to God. I leave it to the Most High, because He's the only one who can, if anything, know who our futures be, if it's either in the UK or out. To Thomas's point on schools, that's my fear of now. That now, because it's been years since I left primary school and also secondary school, my fear is, how should I raise my child at this current time? Because I don't know what they're teaching in those both schools. What I see in the news of late of what they're bringing in the new curriculum, I somehow disagree in terms of my beliefs, and so on and so forth. I fear that this might become to an end for the West.
Why did you have kids in the UK, by the way?
I don't have children. I'm just saying that if I have children, I don't have children.
Do you have a partner, sir?
No, I don't.
Wim, Thomas, are you single guys as well, bros?
Yeah, I'm single. I don't. But when it comes to me, bro, I ignore UK women because the majority of them are liberal, but I'm a conservative. I was raised in a conservative household. I was raised by traditional Nigerian parents. So I don't know. I would never date a liberal woman. I only have 4 things to say to UK women. It's good morning, good afternoon, good evening,
You
and
got that from
goodbye.
IP. You got that for international. That guy's channel, man. But don't bullshit me.
Oh wow! Not even how are
Oh
you?
my
I
god!
can't believe you know
I
IP
don't.
channel. This guy knows
Of
IP.
course I know IP.
Yeah,
Listen, I'm a
we know
passport
IP.
bro at heart, man. I'm a
I,
passport. If it wasn't for the lady, I'll be out of here so fast. I'll be traveling every month. I'll be out. I'll be getting
I,
choose a country I like and plow money into
I,
it. I'll do it.
I have a confession to make. I was first against SYSBM and the Passport Bros. This was last year during the time of the whole Kevin Samuels thing until I saw one live stream. I watched the whole live stream of KS, and I have to tell you, I do feel for KS on that day by the fact that some of our lovely ladies, which are black women, when we came between, I think it was family or something in regards of that, they rather choose the government over family. That's
Bro,
then I realized that,
let me just chime in on this one and let me say this. Please,
yeah,
please, never on your life base your
yes,
life decisions off a live stream. Please, I'm telling you this now. A lot of these things are fake, stage, and just doesn't show a good representation. I mean, I'm all I'm going to say is this, and this is for all
yes.
people watching. I know what you're saying, but please, please don't base it.
Uh,
I've got life experiences which go against a lot of these things. So I don't know, bro.
of
I'm not
course,
saying that, but I'm
I'm
saying
not
don't.
saying
Yeah, yeah. Go
I'm
ahead.
not saying what KS said. I'm not taking all in that live stream as truth. Like, no, I'm not taking it as that. But after I saw the live stream, I started to question. I'm not saying my experiences, but the thoughts of before and now. And I just asked my, and
So
I just
so
think to myself,
so Wim,
I'm not.
if you have children in this country, yeah, and we're all struggling to find suitable mates, mothers, long-term relationships, yeah. How easy do you think it would be for the next generation? I'm being serious. Particularly someone who'd want to have kids that look like all of us. Nothing
So,
wrong with it. How
and this is
likely is that gonna be?
I mean, and this is where my thought process is. Now, to answer your question directly, difficult. But this is this is the issue. This is the conundrum, and this is where, for me, other groups of people, white people especially, they fight for theirs, and this is where I'm really talking. This is where I'm saying it sounds like all my days. Here we go, but they fight for theirs. Now, again, not everything is easy. Life is not easy. We're born into a stage now where people don't like it. But I'm sorry, I'd rather be born in this time at this stage than born, let's say, in the 60s or even slavery times. They had families in slavery time, but I wouldn't want to be a slave. You see what I mean? Things aren't easy. So my thing is this: I'm not saying what you're saying. Do what you do what you feel is right. I'm not going to deny it. But homeschooling's an idea. Why? Where are the private black schools? Where are the black schools? Where are the intellectual teachers who are like this? Okay, we've seen this because, like, I'm pretty sure you have Jewish schools that they've built. I know it's financial capital, but there are options out there. Is it going to be foolproof? No, I'm not going to lie and tell you that it's going to work 100%. I'll be a liar. But I'm saying we just seem to. Where are the intellectual solution oriented people in this nation who can take advantage of what this nation has to offer to help with that? I'm not saying everyone's gonna, benefit from it, but that's where I'm thinking. That's my thought processes. There are ways, there are more ways than one in this nation to skin a cat. That's how I answer that question.
That's fair enough, and yeah, I can't argue. That's she's fair enough. I think it's more likely to build a school or teaching thing than it is to find a good black woman in the any woman really in the UK for us.
Fair enough.
I think
Fair
that's
enough.
it's going to be fine. I'm telling you, I can't remember the last time I really met a pro-black British woman like London in London at least. I'm trying to remember the last time,
Really?
and she
Oh wow.
left. She
Okay.
left. Actually, she went to Grenada. She went to Barbados. She emigrated. Actually, she
Okay.
left. She was about that life. She got out.
Well, I've got some real problems with pro blacks. I mean, listen. I'd rather be on that side than the other side of being a coon. But I'm telling you, there's certain things I have a problem with. Um, but yeah.
Wim,
Sorry, Ephraim. Do you want to say something? You're from me.
um, about the pro black thing, do you believe in polygamy?
Not for me.
Okay. because the same thing is not for me, but to our brothers and sisters across the coast, thinks that the only way forward to keep us as black people together is polygamy. My issue or that take on is that, similar to the one of repatriation, you need to have money and also resources, because to be in that position of polygamy, you need to be in a religion or a culture which carries it forward. But if you don't have that, then I don't think it will be the way forward for us as black people, because our lovely ladies have always claimed to be independent, and I always believe that they are. But if you're going to settle by having 1, 2, 3 more ladies as a way of pushing it forward, you need to bring in lots and lots of stuff to the table for our lovely
But
ladies today.
they're not our ladies. The Western black woman is not our ladies. I don't understand. A lot of these women, it's sad to say,
But
they don't really visit their homelands often. They don't know more than one language. Even they don't know they don't have to cook any food that's traditional, really, for the most part. It's sad,
but
but a lot of them have been deculturalized. And
JLC,
if you have a child with them, the child will be deculturalized even more. And this is a benefit for passport bros, because at least they'll be able to get a woman with a non-Western culture pure. That's the
but
reality. And it's women that have the impact on culture more than men for the most part.
True. But JLC, and this is where
but
I agree
yeah,
with the culture part, because the women will talk to the child, so obviously speaking of whatever
Yeah,
language,
but
they'll cook, they'll food, all that kind of other stuff. All our mothers would have done that lightly
but
with children.
yeah,
JLC,
and
my
FM, brother FM.
yes,
That's right. JLC's right. I don't
yeah,
consider. Honestly, bro. I don't consider UK black women as my women. I consider foreign black women as my women,
oh,
because
same,
because you know, I hear a lot of criticisms towards passport bros saying, "Oh,
mm-hmm,
you just want a
mm-hmm.
non-black woman." No, there are foreign black women from the motherland, South America, East Asia, and South and Eastern Europe. There's a foreign black woman. She just has an upgraded, same hardware, just upgraded, but the software is a lot better.
Mm. I've heard the results, as many would say. I've heard the results, and I'm all for brothers traveling. I'm all for predetermined. I'm against. Sorry, scratch that. I'm against predeterminism, especially in our community, because the reason why now we see our brothers SYSBM taking a passport, having their own destiny and freedom, is because of the years of predeterminism by the government of the West, feminism, our 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 ladies in our community. It has set us men, black men in particular, into a predetermined path they should of where they want us to be, especially when it comes to that narrative of where they want a Tupac in a suit. If anything, they want you to be the West of stereotypes in a suit. Make it make sense. How can the West of men be wearing a suit and be claimed a leader for a community?
Well,
Bro, do you know what we call that,
let
bro?
me, sorry, guys. Let me just interject, because we've gone off on a bit of a tangent here. I get why we've gone off here, but let me just bring it back, because I want to kind of end the stream soon, because it's almost midnight. And I don't want to go on for too long, because I appreciate everyone's got work in the morning. But to end off, I wanted to sort of almost outline sort of how I would see the code working and how I would see it playing through. I know for those who want to stay here, it seems like at your peril from the panel. I understand that. But ultimately, one of the reasons why we have a situation where we're so divided is purely because we don't want to fight for what is ours, in terms of, again, when it comes to conversations, I don't personally think that we should be supporting outsiders in our conversations. I'm not saying we have to be outside with a banner saying, "You're not allowed to do this, you're not allowed to do that." Da, 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 da. But I think we should have, for example, I don't know if anyone noticed, but there was a blackout that was proposed from Black folk on the BBC, because they did something that we didn't like. things like that. I think we need to be better at, because we've got social media now, at organizing things like that to show our disapproval or show the fact that, you know what, we're not buying this. Would it work? I don't know. It don't seem to, but at the moment, I think right now we're in a stage where the best of us seems to have just packed everything up and packed it in. And for me personally, I'm still in this mindset where if we can't make it here, I don't care where you going. You're still the same human being. You think you're going to make it better over there, probably in certain ways, but in other ways, I disagree. So that's me on that.
Well, my final comment says, unfortunately, brother, I think it's unsalvageable here. If I want to help our people, I'll do it back in predominantly black countries. And I just see the ones that remain here will be a permanent underclass, and majority will be mixed. The ones who aren't in the underclass will be mixed. And that's the future I see for Black Britain, as I see it. And I believe it so much that I'm going to get out, or have at least one, or give my children the opportunity to get out and have it that way. Because to be honest, man, I mean, if I did have a wife here, I'd probably cheat and impregnate women back home and have a second family in Africa or something to keep things pure. Like, that sounds horrible. You're going to say, what a scumbag human being. But, you know, it means much to me to have grandchildren that look like me and continue my, you know, our African ancestry, you know, undiluted. And that doesn't make me a racist. It doesn't make me a supremacist. It's just something that means a lot to me. And if I put my seed in the UK, I guarantee you, maybe not one, but definitely within two, it will be, you know, not like us. And I'd rather not have that.
Oh, I hear you, bro. I hear you. Thomas, you
Bro, I just wanted to add on what Brother FM said. So what you know, the Keishas want brothers they want brothers be roadmen and wear suits. Well, we called that we call in the Passport Bros, we call that James St. Patrick. You know Power, you know Ghost,
Oh yes,
the main
of
character.
Of course.
Yep,
Yeah.
Basically,
Yeah,
yeah.
we call,
I've heard this all before.
yeah, we call that James St. Patrick. Yeah, but here's my closing statements. Brother Win and Brother FM, I believe yeah, the UK is just like the UK is just like the Titanic. It's just sinking and sinking and sinking.
I just
There's
had
no
a thought
point
of it
of
today, you
saving.
know.
It's unfortunate, bro. It's very unfortunate, but it is what it is, bro. And there is no code amongst black people because some of them, not all, but some of them just are comfortable with degeneracy and destruction. So that is why I'm fully supporting the SYSBM movement and the Passport Bros movement.
Same.
Because I believe, you know, as logical thinking, educated brothers, we look for a solution. And, you know, being SYSBM and Passport Bros, they are the viable solutions because they work. I've seen the results, and that's why I support them, bro. And I advise brothers, like, if you want to date UK women, just be very, very, very careful because you need to vet them to ensure that they're on your program. Yeah, and that's all I have to say, bro. But bro, this was a excellent live stream, and keep up the great work, bro.
Yeah, thanks, man, and always pleasure. Thanks for coming on. And Ephraim, last words from you regarding the topic at hand.
In terms of code, us black people, we have to do better. We have to do really, really better because this is not going good in our favor. And in terms of the West, you know, as long as the NHS is not in the private sector, I'm all good. If it is, then I have to go to Canada.
Oh, love it.
That's my end of statement of today. Thanks for the live stream.
No worries, man. And again, pleasure coming on. But yeah, before I wrap up, thanks to everyone who's on the live stream. Thanks for everyone who's watching. And for those who are listening on the playback, please make sure you like the stream, share the stream, subscribe if you are new. So thanks to all my panelists, Ephraim, KB, Thomas, JLC. I think that's everyone. Apologies if I've missed up anyone. I think that's everyone who's been on the panel tonight. But yeah, again, thanks to everyone who's been on the chat. And hopefully having a live stream this on Sunday. But yeah, hopefully going to keep churning out the content. But yeah, man, be blessed, be safe. And until the next one, we're out of here.